Alright, so I'm sure you are sick and tired of hearing about these stimulus checks and just want to know when you can actually get your money already. But the good news is that we've received some really important updates from the IRS in the past few days that give us a much clearer look on what this process will look like. So if you want to know when you can expect your stimulus check, how to get it much faster, and a lot of other important updates, then stick around. Let's jump right into it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today, I just want to help you get a better understanding on when you can expect your stimulus check that you've been hearing so much about. So if you get any value out of today's video, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe, since apparently 85% of you are not subscribed. So I'd really appreciate it if you did. So in my last video, we looked at what the next possible round of stimulus checks could look like, and I will likely talk about that more in the future once that picture becomes more clear. But for now, I want to talk about the first round of stimulus check payments that will likely be hitting your bank account this week. So for a lightning fast recap on what you've missed if you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you make $75,000 a year as a single tax filer, you will receive $1,200. Couples filing jointly will receive $2,400 as long as they make $150,000 or less, and these amounts step down by $5 for every $100 you make beyond those thresholds. In addition, you'll also receive $500 for each dependent claimed on your most recent tax return who is under the age of 17. So at this point, you've probably heard that whole spiel a million times and just want to know when you can actually get this money. And we may finally have a straightforward answer, which is, drumroll please, April 14th. Yeah, as in April 14th, the day after I'm posting this video. Now let's be clear, this does not mean that every single qualified individual will receive their check tomorrow, but if you have filed your 2018 or 2019 tax return and the IRS has your banking information on file, then it's very likely that you will receive this payment by tomorrow or at the very least in the next few days. Now, if you did not file either your 2018 or 2019 tax return, you aren't completely out of luck, since the IRS did recently upload a portal to their website called Free File. Here, low-income individuals who make $12,200 a year or less, or $24,400 a year as a couple, can input their banking information and ensure that they get their stimulus check as soon as possible. There are a few qualifications required to use the service, so make sure you go ahead and read through those first, but as long as you meet all of these qualifications, the low income being the most important, then input your banking information as soon as possible, and your social security number should be prioritized, and this will rapidly increase the pace at which you're able to get your stimulus check. In addition to the Free File portal, the IRS is also launching another site on April 17th that they are calling Get My Payment, where you'll be able to track the status of your stimulus check, find out how you'll be receiving it, when you'll be receiving it, and whether that will be through the mail or through direct deposit. I'll leave a link to the Free File portal in the description below, and once the Get My Payment site is live on April 17th, I'll be sure to update the description as well. Now, about this mail check, in my opinion, that is worth nothing more than a like down below. I would avoid these at all cost. Do whatever you can to get the IRS your banking information, whether that be through one of these online portals that will hopefully be live in the next week or so, or by filing your 2019 tax return and including your banking information on that form. I say this because the process for mailing checks will be done with preference to lowest income individuals first, meaning that if you make an average salary but do not have your banking information on file with the IRS, then it could take months for you to receive your stimulus check, and that's the last thing I want for you. That being said, for those of you who do fall into these lower income brackets under $10,000 a year, the first round of mail checks are said to be arriving somewhere around April 24th, with the next round happening around May 1st for individuals making $20,000 or less, and May 8th for individuals making $30,000 or less. All other income levels will slowly start to be mailed out over the next few months, all the way through September. So if you are a higher income individual, I would do everything you can to get the IRS your banking information. Also, a quick side note that I did see on the IRS website along with this information, the IRS never makes attempts to contact taxpayers through email, text message, or phone calls. So if you do receive contact from someone claiming to be the IRS, please just ignore it, since they are likely someone trying to steal your stimulus check, and again, that is the last thing I want you to have to deal with. Alright, so we've covered the stimulus check, but what about those of you who are waiting for unemployment benefits that will likely be much more significant than a one-time $1,200 payment? If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, that is totally fine. Go ahead and check out my video where we did talk about these unemployment benefits, but essentially the federal government is backing unemployment insurance in the amount of $600 a week in addition to the benefits that you already receive from your state. So for example, the maximum weekly unemployment benefit in California is $450 a week, and the federal benefits under the CARES Act will be an additional $600 a week, meaning that if you lost your job or even just had your income reduced as a result of the current pandemic and have filed for unemployment in your state, you could be receiving as much as $1,050 a week for the next 4 months. Now, this opens a whole can of worms that I am absolutely not going to get into, but clearly this means that a lot of American workers would make more on unemployment right now than they actually make in their job. But regardless of how you feel about this, it is what it is, and if I were you, I would take advantage of this financial support if you truly need it, not only to bring stability to your own finances, but also to help those around you who may be struggling as well, but maybe too prideful to ask for help. Also, keep in mind that the qualifications for unemployment have been drastically expanded under the CARES Act and now include independent contractors, gig workers, and many other forms of self-employed individuals. This means that if you haven't qualified for unemployment in the past, or you feel like you wouldn't qualify, be sure to double check your state's requirements, since it's much easier to qualify for unemployment right now than it was prior to the CARES Act. Even if you just have a side hustle or drive Uber, for example, and you lost your income or had it reduced as a result of the pandemic, you were directly affected and can no longer drive Uber, meaning that you likely would qualify for this unemployment benefit until you get back on your feet financially. Now, many individuals who fall into these expanded categories have experienced a lot of difficulty when applying for unemployment recently, but many states will be rolling out updated portals specifically for these individuals in the coming weeks. So if you've already tried to apply for unemployment and have had difficulty, just hang tight. Your state's website should update shortly, and don't worry, you're also entitled to back pay for these benefits from the date when you lost your job or your income was affected. Alright, so as far as the timeline for these unemployment benefits, some states such as New York and California have already started issuing these payments, but this is really going to vary depending on where you live, so be sure to check your state's websites for up-to-date information. But I would say it's a safe bet that you'll start receiving these unemployment benefits within the next week or so, as long as you've applied and been approved. I also do want to mention a few important points. First of all, as long as you have applied through your state, there is no need for you to go apply at the federal level. You will automatically receive this additional $600 a week on top of your state's unemployment benefits. Make sure you are applying for unemployment in the state where you work, not where you live. I know for most people this is probably the same thing, but say you live in one state and work in another state, you need to apply for unemployment through the state where you work because your employer is footing part of that bill through their unemployment insurance. I know all of this can be a little confusing, especially for younger individuals who did not live through the stimulus bill for the 2008 financial crisis. This is likely the first time that any of us have, one, received any type of stimulus payment, and two, seen such drastic unemployment numbers. But I promise it is not as complicated as you may think, and I encourage you to check out many of the resources online that can further clarify any confusion that you may have. But in short, if your income has been affected as a result of the current health crisis, then it does not hurt to apply for these additional benefits. A $1,200 check is great and will help stimulate the economy, but for many individuals, this is simply not enough money to support them and their families. I know some people think the amount being spent on this stimulus bill is ridiculous, but regardless of how you feel, it's happening. So at the very least, you want to put yourself in the position to, again, not only support yourself financially, but those around you and your community to help everyone get back on their feet as soon as possible. That brings me to one last point, and that is to use this stimulus money, whether that be through your stimulus check or through your unemployment benefits, to care for those around you. Obviously, you need to take care of you and your family first, but a lot of individuals are falling through the cracks under the current stimulus bill and may be too prideful to reach out for help. Take care of your family and get the essentials that you need to get by, but also be sure to reach out to others and see if there is anything you can do to support them and their family. I know this all sounds very cliche, but the individuals who win with money are the individuals who are able to give their money, and that does not only include wealthy people. Give in proportion to what you have now, just like you will when you're living in your dream home and driving your Ferrari in the future. I promise we'll be back to looking at the best retirement accounts and credit cards very soon, but for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and seriously, let me know if you have any questions or thoughts at all down in the comment section below. The great thing about having such a small channel means that I'm really able to engage with all of you, so seriously, if you want my very unprofessional opinion on anything, I'm more than happy to help. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to check out my channel. I really do appreciate it so much. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you did get value out of today's video. And of course, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.